my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. The curse struck again. I had a real nice video, and we may still get to see it, but I started editing the video at about 10 minutes or 15 minutes before noon, so about 11:45, somewhere in there, I started editing the video. It was an hour long, and I cut it down to 14 and a half minutes. So then I said, send it to render, which means you have to, pull it all together, and the computer does its thing when it renders this video, and it's supposed to spit out a video at the end. Well, it's still spitting. It didn't finish. I mean, I sent it to render at 12:30, so that gave it 30 minutes to go. It's only a 14-minute video, and it's still rendering. It's so aggravating. It's just that Rosa thing. I'm telling you, there's no reason for it to take that long. I often render a full hour-long video in under 30 minutes. And this is a 14-minute video, and it's taken over 30 minutes. Just not easy. Did you ever hear it's not easy being me? I'm telling you, it isn't. But I do have a short video clip about the shingles, so let's take a look at that while we're waiting on the other one to render. Well, my friends, it's Friday morning, just before the vlog. So let's take the moisture meter. I just turned these all over. I probably should have checked it before I turned them over. 11.5, and again, we'll just check it this way, just the first piece in the family. 12. So either way, it's about the same. That's 11.7. 11.9. So it's almost virtually the same. There's 12, 11.9. Let's see, we'll go to the thick end. This is 10.7. That's pretty thin. Pretty dry. 10, 11, 11. Well, and there's 13. It's furthest away. Check it in another spot. Still pretty close to 13. Yep, 13.7. All right, so let me dig down a little bit and see what happens. Let's go down to this level here and see if these inside are as dry. Yeah, pretty close. 13. That's not terrible. 13. So honestly, we're in the ballpark to put them on now. I think I'll wait until tomorrow, which would be Saturday morning, and I'll probably go ahead and install them and hope for the best, They're going to be outside anyway, and of course they'll be on a hot roof. They'll for sure dry out there. Yeah, that's about the best we can do. I just checked the rendering process on the video and see where it was at during that video, and it was in the 70s. Let me check it real quick here. It says it finished. Well, I'll be darned. I don't know how it jumped from 70 up to finished since I wasn't able to review it ahead of time. You'll have to bear with me because I'm going to click on a video, and then I'll have to add the video that just rendered. So the first part of this is going to be something else, and then I'll click over to the video I want you to see. It's just a process that I can't do anything about that. So here we go. Well, my friends, all morning I've spent on the sawmill. If you recall that big pile of cedar logs, you don't see that anymore. Those are little Well, my friends, it's early Friday morning. I'm going to try to saw up these walnut logs on my sawmill. Now, these are little short logs. This one's about 5 feet long. That one's about 4 feet long. The reason they're so short is because they were one log, but you can see right here, this log changes a lot and it was curvy. I'd rather saw two short straight pieces than one real long curvy piece, because you don't get very much out of a long curvy piece. But we can still get plenty of usable lumber out of both of these, or boards I should say. But before we start to saw on something like this, because these came from where the pond was leaking there, and the pond is, you know, right up next to the road, anytime you are sawing a tree that's close to where people are spending a lot of time, it's really good to check them for metal, because people drive nails in them. They do all kinds of crazy things. They'll hang something like a piece of metal in the crotch of a tree and then it grows around it. You just never know. So I've got my Mind Labs metal detector here. This is a Manicore. We're powered on, and I think I've already got the volume set to high. The sensitivity is not that high, but I'm going to turn it up a little bit. And I'm going to scan this log for metal. I don't expect to find anything, but you never know. I think we're good. So I'm not too worried about it now. We call that the curse of the camera. That's the first one I've had roll off in, I don't know, weeks. Anyway, stuff happens. You can see how the little mini skid steer is very helpful, though. You can't pick this up. There's no way. I can maybe pick up one end of it and slide it around. That's about it, though. It's just sliding. It's heavy. It's a very heavy log. It's heavier than it looks. There's lots of dirt and mud and rocks embedded, so I'm going to take a minute and clean it up good, and then we'll get started sawing. The bark is full of dirt and lots of rocks. I've taken a wire brush to it, and I've decided that it's worth the effort to just take a little bit more time and take this hatchet and chop off a good part of this bark. Oh, give me a break. It's the curse of the video, I swear to you. Anyway, I'm just going to cut a lot of this off because it's a lot more effort on my part, but it's also a lot less likely to dull a blade. I'll get the saw going here, and then we'll make our first cut. Yeah, getting that bark off is a key thing. Make some good firewood though, those slabs. Seemed like it sawed it very nicely, just that it, I think my belt slips is what the problem is, and it's hard to get that belt any tighter, but it seems to slip, so I have to take it easy. The motor seems to not bog down, it just seems like it's the belt slipping. Well, this might be a few minutes before I'm ready to make the next cut. I'll have to turn this over. I mean, I could have taken another slab cut off of that, but I'd rather get this thing relatively square before I start messing with all that. Well, I'm going to clean the bark off on this side again. It's kind of a laborious process, so I'm not going to make you watch that, but we'll show you the next cut when we get to it.
Scrape a living from the soul, like my father before me. I labor and toil, but my father said, son.
You might be able to tell on the bottom how crooked this log is, and of course that's just a short piece. The other part went crooked the other way, so you would have got nothing out of this log had I sawn it as a long log. But let's pour a little water on here, sweep it off, and see what it looks like. I'm not expecting very much, to be honest with you. Got a bad spot in it, so it ain't very good. That's, you know, but I wasn't expecting much, you know. It's just better than just throwing it all away. You can see there what it looks like. There's a kind of a bad spot right there, I think, and then obviously you got a bad flaw through there. I've got the height adjusted to about 8 inches, or a little bit over that. So we're going to take the bark off there, then we'll start sawing boards.
You should move away. You said farm life is dying. Son, please don't stay. I moved to the city and I tried to fit. The first couple of boards that I sawed off there were really nice. They're nice and clear. But all the rest of them kind of look like this. Some people would say that looks cool, you know. Well, it sort of does, but it's a flaw in the wood. Like here, this is actually a crack. So, I mean, you could epoxy and do different things and save it if you wanted to do that, but I'm really not into that. I'd prefer to just have good, clear wood. I like the grain figure in it and all that, but I don't like flaws like that. So, you know, having knots and curls and things is fine with me. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't like the splits and the rotted parts and things. Overall, it was probably worth doing. There's some decent boards there. So this one here is a little thicker. It's a little thicker than one, not quite 1.5 inches. It's about 1.25 inches. Over here, we got a bunch of inch boards. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 full inch boards, and then here's another inch board. You know, the happy term these days is live edge, and it's got the live edge on it. I'm going to go ahead and saw up that other log. I'm not going to show it to you unless it just turns out to have some really cool figures. I've sawed some good big thick slabs out of this second piece, and there's a lot of curl in this. This is looking pretty. So let me wet it down so you can even see it a little better. Yeah, this is looking nice here. I like this. So, let me give you a good close-up look there. You can see all the curl coming out of this, and that would be beautiful to make a gun stock out of. I'm sawing these into 2-inch thick pieces so that at least if I want to make a gun stock or something, you could also shave veneer off of it and, you know, decorate the front of a cabinet or something with something like this. See how it's curling out? Looks really pretty. So that's really nice stuff there. This is a really pretty curl right here that goes up and fans out like a tree kind of thing. And I can't tell about the colors. It just all looks brown to me, but it may have some different color in there too. Yeah, I like this. That looks really pretty. That would make a beautiful gun stock if it worked out to be in the right spot, you know. Well, here's what the last two. This is actually the other side of the slab I showed you a little bit ago. It's not quite as figured on this side. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. It's just how you look at it, I guess. It looks nice. Like I said, that's the other side of the one I just showed you. And then here's the last piece that's left. It's a 3-inch thick piece. And it doesn't have as much as it could. It looks nice. It's not bad at all. You can make something beautiful out of that. But, you always want more. That's human nature. This is actually kind of pretty in here and there. So this one here would make a really nice gun stock, I think. Now I got to get rid of all of that mess. That's a lot more work than it looks like too.
That's my middle name. More work than it looks like. Well, let's see. This afternoon, you know what? I think I'm going to take it easy, and maybe an hour or two before dark, I might go back to that spot that I cleared off for metal detecting. That'll be my third time back there since I cleared it off. And that what they say, third time's a charm, so I'm expecting good things. Yeah, it's the old wish in one hand and do something else in the other one and see which one fills up first. That's what that is. Let's see. Let's see. Brian Byler was the first one in. Says Happy Friday. Joe Nigan's there, and B.H. Ringer from Nova Scotia, Canada. And then B.H. Ringer says, at a wedding party recently, someone yelled, all married people, please stand next to the one person who has made your life worth living. The bartender was almost crushed to death. Yeah. Let's see. Ronald Todd. Good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Banks in New Jersey. David Thorpe. Howdy, y'all. Wonderful play along last night, Jerry. You must have vibrated your hand all afternoon. Well, I didn't do a lot of vibrating on it, to be honest with you. I ran out of time. But I had intended to do that. Hand wasn't hurting too bad last night. It just, I don't know. It comes and goes. Like today, it's super stiff today. It almost feels like you're wearing thick leather gloves and trying to bend your fingers. That's about what it feels like today. Anyway, Bill Rhodes. Good afternoon, Jerry. Love the show last time. Well, thanks. And just looking for mostly the question marks. Gino Hitch says, hey. Hi, Jerry and friends. Loved the show last night. I think you guys are really talented. Too bad you can't get together more often. Yeah, well, you know what? I can't divulge anything about anything yet, but we probably will start playing again at another place, but we won't mention it when we do. If we do. It's not even a thing yet. I mean, we're just talking about finding a place, and if we do, I won't be able to tell you about it because if I do, a certain organization would probably find out, and then that certain organization would either shut us down or start hounding us and threatening us with court cases and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty bad to live in a free country and you're not free. It's pretty bad. It really is. It's really pretty bad. Dottie's praying for us. Thank you, Dottie. Need it a lot. Let's see. Moving on down. She says, thank you for the song you played for me. I love that song. Yeah, that is a great song. He Took Your Place. And a lot of people will say to me that they think that the second verse should be the last verse and that the last verse should be the second verse. But if you listen to the words, especially at the end, I mean, it ends on He Took Your Place. And that's the title of the song, and that's the way it should end, and so to me, the verses are in the right order. Anyway, let's see, but that has been a point of argument over the years. People have told me that several times, actually, but they're wrong. The way it was written is the way I do it. Let's see. Dottie says, hit the like button. It costs nothing and helps Jerry's channel. Well, I appreciate it if you would do that. Bruce Ducker, sorry, Jerry, watched the first part of the concert and had to go. Well, I understand. After we went live, Joe Nigan was the first one in. The band is awesome. Thank you. Bill Webb, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Bill Mumbo, great concert last night. Thanks. John Kohlhoff says, thank you, Jerry. I really enjoyed your favorite song you wrote. I really like it myself. It's a great song. Well, thank you. Well, Grandpa's Old Fiddle, it's a true story, 100% true. I 2 months to the day after he passed away, I woke up in the middle of the night and wrote that song. And when I don't really remember doing that, but the next morning when I woke up, I lay there in bed, thought, did I write a song last night or did I dream I wrote a song last night? And I truly did not know. I lay there in bed and kept thinking about that and So I got up and started walking through the house trying to see if I'd find a song laying around somewhere, and I didn't see anything. I walked from the bedroom through our office, through the living room, through the dining room, through the kitchen, our breakfast room. We had a breakfast room, and no, nothing. Didn't see nothing. On the way back, I look over on the dining room table, and sure enough, there's paper laying there. And I went, I'll be darned. And it had all the words to the song, and I've never changed anything about it. It's just the way it turned out. And I truly didn't remember doing it. I mean, I just let, but yet it seemed like I must have done it, but I didn't know if I dreamed it or what. But anyway, that's just the way it worked out. David Tharp, I got a support animal. It's pig. Well, not the whole pig. Okay, it's bacon. Ditto. Yeah, and have you noticed? I don't know, man. I guess you can still get full 1 pound packages of bacon at the store, I guess. But if you're not careful, you'll come home with a 12-ounce package. You know, they shorten the package. They make them. It drives you nuts. It drives you nuts. Let's see. Wavy gravy. My wife says I never listen to her, or something like that. Let's see. I think I read that one and then it just disappeared. Isn't that weird? Tom Matthews. Colin, I think you mean Furs. Colin Furs, who you recommended, built a safe door for his underground garage. Nuts. Boy, it was. That was really cool. It was really cool the way he built that door. Yeah, he goes all the way. He goes all out. Don Nice says, hi, Jerry and friends. I had myself snacks ready, and he got cut off. I think I saw it while during the video I was playing. I read it says, what I was saying is I got busy watching great group playing bluegrass. Well, thank you, Don. Brian O'Grady, really enjoyed the show last night. Thanks. Earthprint Homes. Hello, Jerry. Thanks for sharing. I really enjoyed your sawmill build. I was wondering if you could tell me the width of the rails. And then I saw that during the video too, and somebody mentioned that it was 4 feet. And it is. Yeah, Bruce Ducker said it was 4 feet, and that's correct. They are 4 feet wide, the rails. I think they're 20 feet long, and which allows me to cut a 16-foot log on the rails. 16 foot for me is plenty long. I don't see why you'd ever need to cut one much longer than that unless you build really big buildings. And then if you do, you probably ought to just get a professional sawmill because, my sawmill is a good sawmill. I'm happy with it. But if I was going to cut a bunch of stuff longer than 16 foot, I'd for sure want a professional sawmill, I think, because that means you're really serious about cutting wood if you're cutting stuff longer than 16 feet. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the sawmill overall. I don't really have any changes. Well, there's one change I would probably make, and that is that instead of putting the saw head out on the front of the cage, there's like a 4 foot long cage there and 4 foot wide. So instead of sitting it out on the front of that, I'd have probably set it in the middle. I just wasn't thinking clear, and I really thought that, I'd be able to get a little longer cut by putting it out on the front, but really it doesn't matter where you put it, you're going to get the same length cut because your rails are only so long, your width is so much, and it's probably hard for you to imagine that if you're not thinking about it, but truly it doesn't really matter. So in hindsight, I would have put the saw in the middle of the cage. It would have just been more stable. Sitting it out on the front edge was not the most stable way to build it. It works fine. I had to put some counterweights on the back because of that, and so that's probably the only thing I would actually change on it, and that is of no real consequence. The only other thing, if I was going to go into production building them for people, I would also change my up and down. My up and down is slow because I have it on those screws, but for a private one-man just cutting lumber for myself, it's plenty good. It's fine. It's a little slow, but so mine now these days. It would be better if that was a little faster. But other than those two things, everything else is really good on it. Let's see. Don Nice says, okay, I read that part. And then Randy Rogers says, in another video, you mentioned the video showing all of the guitars to be sold. I couldn't find it. Well, I think it was one of the vlogs, but the truth is, I don't know which one. I was hoping Eddie would have popped in and told us which one. Eddie's the one that keeps track of all that stuff. He's got a whole spreadsheet of all the different videos and what's in each video, and I don't have any of that. So, well, he sent it to me a long time ago, but the truth is I haven't kept up with it, and I don't even know where that copy is that he sent me now. But anyway, Randy, I don't know. I'll probably do something like that here in the near future. I don't know. I need to. I got to get off a dead center on this and get some of those guitars moving. Bruce Ducker. Oh, look under live logs 715 to 718. Okay. Cool. There you go. David Sutter, when do you think your next video will be ready about the Martin? I've got it finished, and it's been rendered even, and so I will upload that yet today. And so it'll be out there. I'm planning to upload it a little later this afternoon and have it out for this evening's viewing. That's my plan right now. Dottie Hildebrandt, Bo is really a good picker and can sing. Yeah. Bo is. He used to play lead guitar a lot. He doesn't play too much lead now. He does play some, but he's a good singer. Yeah, he's got a good, deep, baritone type voice. Michael Ragusa, why all Jerry, you guys were good last night. Well, thank you. Bill Webb, if you listen to Porter Wagner's version of He Took Your Place, he sings the verses different. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard his version. I got it from Seldom Seen was the one I heard do it, and I looked into it, and the verses are in the order that I sing in them, because the last verse, it's more than just the fact that it ends on He Took Your Place. It's the other part of that is those cruel thorns that pierced my Savior's head, shamed and forsaken. I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty powerful song. You could do it either way. It doesn't really matter, but I like the way we do it that way. Richard Herbranson, what is the name of the guy who does all the underground digging on his property? I want to watch it. Oh, Colin Furs is he's the one that built the tunnels, and then he built the underground garage. He still hasn't completed the underground garage. I mean, it's basically complete. He needs to put the lift in it, and the roof of the garage needs to lift up to take his DeLorean outside. And that's the reason he made that fancy door, because it has a flux capacitor in the door because he has a DeLorean, So he's just, playing off of that theme. And he's also making a deal where I think it's a turntable, where the car will spin underground and turn around so that when it comes back up, it'll be facing the road to take off, I'm pretty sure he's doing all of that. Colin Furs is pretty cool. He's a big-time YouTuber. He makes more money in 1 week on YouTube than I make all year, I'm sure. I'm positive of that. In fact, he might make more in 1 day than I make all year. He's a big-time YouTuber. Let's see. Terry Meyer, the show was really good last night. Thanks for doing Will the Circle Be Unbroken. You guys did a great job. Thank you. Thanks for the request. Yeah, we all know that song. It was just none of us sing it as a norm, because a lot of the time those songs, especially the real popular songs, are sung by other people all the time in the jams. So most of us, especially me, we pick different songs. I've always picked songs that weren't your standard or your popular songs because I know everybody else does those, and I don't want to step on their toes and take their songs when we're in the jams, So I try to find the ones that are a little bit off on the edge. Richard Herbranson, how do you spell his name? Furze, F-U-R-Z-E, I think. F-U-R-Z-E. Colin Furze. He's in the UK. That's about all I can tell you. I think if you just Google it, you'll find it, I'm pretty sure. Eddie Turner, Vlog 715. Really sad news, but huge instrument auction. Okay, lots more Vlog 716. I knew Eddie would come through. There you go. Taking a look at a few auctionists. There you go. Right there it is. I can't remember how many instruments I showed in that. I don't think I showed them all, but I don't remember. The truth is. Randy Rogers, regarding order of singing verses, I'm reminded of a quote from Norman Blake. It's my guitar and I'll play it the way I want to. Yeah, and there's a lot to be said for that too. Let's see. Ron Tom says, everybody have a great Labor Day weekend. Is that already here? I tell you, I can't keep track. I don't even try to keep track anymore. Bill Mumbo, Jerry, I was in a folk club many years ago, and a fight broke out about the order of the verses in an old song that someone had performed. Well, I'd say they were a little too serious about it. I don't think I'd break out in a fight over it, but if somebody was ready to throw a punch at me, I'd probably sing it in a different order. Anyway, guys, we got 128 viewers today, and we had about that many viewers last night on the concert, so worked out real well. It's kind of funny, back, I think it was probably because I was putting out more guitar videos back then. Our live shows were bringing in 300 people and stuff. Well, now they're only bringing in, 100 roughly, or a little over 100. So be kind of nice to be back up there in those other numbers, but we'll play for anybody that's willing to watch. Bill Mumbo says it was hilarious. Okay. He's Jerry. I was in. Oh, okay. He's talking about that when they broke out into a fight, and it was hilarious. Well, guys, I'm going to let that be it. Thank you all for being here. We will, I'll get that video out on the part 2 of the Martin. Believe it or not, there's going to be a part 3, and there's a possibility of a part 4, because I still have a lot of unlooked at video. But I think you'll like part 2. It's got some good information in it, and it ends with something I ain't never seen in 40 years. So you get to see that. Take care. We will see you Monday, if not before.